Hello, my name is Ben Hinson. I am a strategist and generative AI data scientist and a lover of all things that have to do with innovation. And today I'm going to show you something I built from scratch, an application that's tied to marketing intelligence that I have aptly named the Marketing Feedback Aspect Sentiment and Topic Modeling Dashboard. Very long name, but there's a lot to go with it, okay? So this is a marketing intelligence app that is more tied to, I guess you could say, social listening, but it involves any mentions of your product online, okay? It turns messy customer feedback into clean, marketing-ready insights. So it's not just a basic social listening app which uses Boolean queries to pull mentions, and that's it. It just tells you how many mentions and what the sentiment is. This takes things a step further, where it takes any form of customer feedback, whether that's feedback on review sites or syndicated reviews, e-commerce reviews, and so on, or social media, and then it transforms it into insights. Okay, that's the key differentiator. Okay, so we're going to be using a symbiosis of machine learning and generative AI to accomplish that. Okay, so what this app is, again, we're going to be using synthetic data, which means made up data. I created quote unquote fake data that simulates real data. Okay. This is a synthetic self-contained demo. So in this particular demo, there are no uploads, no PII. I've already generated the data for you. This is just for illustration purposes. But of course, if we do go into business, I'll be able to use your data to build this from scratch. Okay, so there's no PII, and under the hood, it's using aspect-based sentiment, or also called VADR, to measure positive, neutral, negative sentiment by product aspect. Again, this is for an electronics product, so we're going to look at things like camera, battery, screen, etc. We're going to do some topic modeling, right? TF-IDF and NMF to group related language into themes, right? So to group the conversations and the reviews we're going to pull into themes, and then use a theme network to show the connections between aspects and high signal terms, okay? And then optionally, we can also infuse a Gen AI component to this. If you do have an LLM key, we can connect to an LLM. In this case, for the demo, I'm going to use OpenAI to give a more enhanced executive summary with insights. Okay, so rather than you having your analyst go in there and pull insights, the LLM will do it for us. Okay, so let's go to our insights tab to start. Okay, and we're going to load the synthetic data that I put together. Okay, we're going to load that, and as you can see, the screen populates. That shows you what the raw data looks like, right? Very unstructured data. It's about 3 years or so worth of reviews and social posts, right? So the data set mimics a real smartphone launch. Okay, so if you work for LG Electronics or companies like Samsung that have smartphones, or even Apple, this is very relevant to you. Okay, so this is mimicking a smartphone launch, right? As smartphone launches, usually there's a bunch of marketing campaigns to support that launch, and these are reviews from customers saying what they thought of the smartphone, okay, from reviews and social posts, okay, across multiple models. The synthetic data that I created mimics realistic language patterns, right? So there's praise, there's complaints, there's neutral mentions, and I've also made sure we have enough volume to see trends by date. So as you can see, we have about 3 years or so worth of reviews and posts, okay? So on the left-hand side, we've loaded the data as I just did. We also have some date range pickers. So within this 3-year total data, we can select specific time slices right here. So right now I have 2023. I can go down or up to 2024 if I want, and pick any month here. Let's stick with February the 14th, and I can move this to 2025. And pick, let's say September 17th, right? Any time frame you want. I recommend for demo, just so we have enough sample size and confidence, to pick at least a year's worth to generate some good trended information, but you can pick any time frame you want, okay? You can also, there are also some additional sliders here. We have this minimum docs required for stable insights. So this is just a guardrail. So if your window has fewer mentions than this, or is shorter than 3 weeks, the app will warn us that the insights might be unstable, right? So this keeps us honest, right? We have another one here, topics NMF. So this is basically how granular the theme groups should be. So if you have fewer topics, you have broader buckets, and then the more topics you have finer clusters, okay? And then we have preview rows and raw viewer. This is just for a convenience slider. It just controls how many raw items we show in the left panel so you can see the source text, okay? So, and then we have the option here, like I said, to use an LLM for executive summaries. I'm going to turn it off for now because I want to show you the difference pre and post using an LLM. So we've done our selections. Let's extract the information from the text. I'll hit this button right here. Okay, it's going to run the natural language, the NLP. And as you can see, it took this raw unstructured data and then generated a summary. Okay, this is something your brand watches and all these social listening tools don't really do for you, right? So, right, this is basically integrated with the source data I pulled and it generated insights. So you don't really need an analyst to go in there and write actionable insights. This has done it for you, right? So, we have an overview, right? We have the total docs that it picked based on our time frame. And the doc counts will change based on the time frame you pick. It shows you what the raw data, unstructured data looks like. As you can see, there's so many comments here. This reviewer, this screen exceeded expectations for travel photography. So this is a positive review, right? This one is neutral on price, neutral review. Right? Let's see. Surprised to see how good the battery is. Another positive review. Here's a negative one. Disappointed with the design after the last update, right? So the whole mix of reviews, and this is unstructured data, okay? And you can see the range of it here. On the right, we have an executive summary that it loaded for us, right? Tells you how many documents it analyzed. It tells you what the dominant themes are, and it gives you some high-level recommendations, right? So lean into strengths and creative, address pain points, own media, feed product roadmap, etc., right? You have your sentiment bars here, aspect sentiment. It tells you color-coded, green is good, orange is neutral, red is bad for each of the product categories, right? For the smartphone categories, so battery, camera, design, performance, price, and so on, right? And this can help you assess the tone, at least with written reviews of what people think of your product, right? And I'm going to switch hats from a machine learning developer to a strategist. If you want to get the best out of something like this, it's very good to merge this with, let's say, a brand lift study that also tracks conversation, or should I say, brand sentiment from surveys around your product. So you can design your questionnaires around the product, and then you can combine the brand lift study with this to get a full picture of how people feel about your product. Okay. So positive sentiments, it's marketer friendly. It shows you positive, neutral, negative by aspect. You can hover over each one to see the actual counts. Okay, so high positive or strong volume, that's a creative lever, right? So promote battery life, high percentage, a fix, or if it's high or negative, that's room for you to consider what to fix, and so on and so forth. Okay. And then if you scroll further down, you have some topics here. These are the top terms for each theme, right? So it's a compact way to see what people actually say. So this can help you with like your copy design, frequently asked questions, and campaign language, right? And then down here, you have a chart that shows connected themes. So this is a map that shows co-occurrences between aspects and high signal items. So for example, if camera tightly links with low light and noise, right? You know exactly what's behind the negative sentiment and so on and so forth, right? So this will help you understand drivers. So that's it. Very simple app. This can, I'm going to make this app public. I did tell you that there's a Gen AI component to this, right? So let's look into that now. So if you want to connect this to an LLM, you can go into settings here, and you can take your LLM key, whichever LLM you use. I'm going to use OpenAI because most people are familiar with ChatGPT. So let's use OpenAI. Let's test our key first. Let's save our key, right? I don't want to save it on my browser. So key saved in session. We're going to test our key, see if it works. Connection was successful, okay? And there's also an option here to wipe your key data. So I'm going to make this demo app public and available to everyone. So I'll share the link. You can go here. If you do use your key, very important not to share your key with anyone. Once you're done testing with your key, always hit this button to wipe your key, wipe the key and data so your privacy is not exposed. I've given you that option. So this app that I've created is also very privacy centric, okay, which is very important when it comes to product design, okay? So we've connected our key. Let's go back to our insights, right? Here, these are basic insights we got just based with the machine learning pool. Now let's connect the LLM here, right? And this toggle down here, and let's run this again, okay? Now let's see what happens. And as you can see, the insights now are going to get a lot more detailed and in depth. So for example, when you work with a lot of marketing teams, these media planners and companies and stuff, one of the everlasting complaints they have is, oh, why can't we make the insights more rich and more actionable, right? And that's an ongoing complaint you see on pretty much any marketing team to the agency partners. Well, there you go, right? We just made them more enhanced and more actionable with our LLM, right? So we took it from basic insights. Now we have the time frame is called out. We have the strengths versus pain points called out here, right? Battery, the strengths, battery, performance, price, and then our pain points, right? With the LLM has given us emergent themes, travel and photography, positive sentiments on battery and camera usage and travel, right? Comparative performance, customers express surprise at performance compared to older models, right? This is stuff you can use as you do your media planning and so on, right? It's giving you prioritized actions. It's giving you recommendations, right? Leverage strengths in marketing. Create campaigns highlighting battery, longevity, and performance using engaging visuals. Address pain points, right? Camera features, design improvements, FAQs, inform product development, so on and so forth, right? So this summary provides a concise overview of the analysis, right? And so on. So it's giving you more in-depth insights you can use, okay? So this is something that can be automated. You don't have to rely on the analyst both to generate the insights, all the data, the modeling. This is a one-stop shop that can do it all for you, okay? So that's it. Like I said, whenever you're done here, you can always go back and always wipe your key data, right? So it clears the data from your session, which is very, very important, okay? So that's it. I built this app from scratch. I've made it available to everyone. I'll share the link below this video post, whether that's on YouTube or LinkedIn. I encourage you to go on the app, play around with it. And if you're a marketer, if you're a CMO, head of marketing, you work with paid media, you're overseeing social, whatever you're doing in the marketing intelligence function, and you want a custom version of this, what I built is relatively basic. We can take this up to different levels, right? This is just to show you what's possible. If you want an enhanced version of this built for your team, hit me up, right? Send me a message. I put links to get in touch with me here on the homepage. Get in touch with Ben. We'll take you to my LinkedIn page. There's one here. There's also one here below to contact me. Send me a message, hit me up. Let's have a nice chat. I want to understand your business model, what you're working on, and I want to help you infuse more sophisticated AI processes into your workflows, as I just showed you here, right? Let's infuse some machine learning with the NLP and also some Gen AI to help you automate your insights, okay? Again, my name is Ben. I hope you enjoyed this short demo. Again, you can find me on LinkedIn. I encourage you to go play around the demo. Send me a message. Let me know what you think. And thanks again for staying with me through this demo, okay? Take care. Be blessed. Cheers.